Hey, good morning, beautiful souls. I I think it's afternoon. We might be in the afternoon time now, I think. Maybe just barely. Hope everybody's having a good life. Um, Been a minute since I made a video. Had a lot going on, new job. It's keeping me pretty busy. Um, Still diving into the God, and people don't understand. People may question your sanity, maybe, your rituals, your beliefs. Not everybody's going to believe like you do. I am the way I am, and I'm not going to change. God comes first. My spiritual practices come first. To me, that's most important. I'll never stop doing that. I know the results. I know the outcome. I know what's leading up to this. Uncontrollably, it's a freight train, an unstoppable train, is what it is, and it's building momentum. I'm seeing things before they're happening. I'm hearing things before they're said pretty frequently. And I don't believe in coincidences. So they're not coincidences, they're synchronicities, just like numbers. When you just so happen to look at the clock and it's 11:11 or 4:44, it's just a synchronicity. It's a deja vu, I guess, could fall in line with that. Pretty constant throughout the day. Um, and I, I kind of have an idea of what it is. I guess I had told somebody that the more you become aware of who you are, who you truly are, you're familiar now with the body, mind, and soul and spirit. You're familiar with you now. And what happens is once you become aware, you accomplish self-awareness, self-control, realizing who you are, your language. Um, you hear this voice all the time, and you tend to ignore it, I guess, in a sense. And you start tuning into things around you, God's voice being one of them. You're no longer listening to yourself. You start tuning into frequencies around you, like what people are saying in their heads, and you say it, you hear it, you pick up on it. If you think, you can think about something. Let's say you're in the middle of a thought, something you have to do today, a chore or something. This is a thought process you got going on in your head. You hear it. You hear this in your head. It's not an audible voice, but you hear it. You're listening to it. This is how it works. But it's not your voice that you're hearing, because that voice of, I've got a chore to do today, you don't pay attention to it. You hear it, but you don't pay attention to it. It just doesn't hold any value to you, I guess. Not saying that you're not going to do this chore, but you don't pay attention to it. It's like if you're on the phone and your text message, my son's bad about this. I'll be reading something on my phone, or not necessarily on my phone, just anywhere in general, and he's talking to me, he's asking me questions. And I can't hear him because I'm focused. I'm focused in on what I'm reading. It's just like two people are talking and you're watching a movie, and you tune them out and you focus in on the movie that you're watching. And I'm sure some people understand what I mean. You hear this over here, your voice, or the two people talking or whatever, you hear it, but you're not paying attention to it. You're past that. You're bypassing that and going to the source, the movie that I'm watching, right? Or the text that I'm reading, or the book that I'm reading. You don't hear this voice. This is our voice. This is my voice. And when you don't pay attention to it, you hear other voices. And you have to determine or discern, is it a good voice or is it an evil voice? You start to realize what the evil voice is and what the good voice is. God's voice, the devil's voice, the enemy, the destroyer, however you want to look at it. You have to be able to discern what's of God and what's not of God, because now you're no longer focusing on, your voice. This is a real thing. It's very difficult. It's very difficult to accomplish. And I don't know many people that have accomplished it. I've been on this journey for a while, and I've dealt with a lot of sensitive people in past and stuff. And these are part of their gifts of self-control. But it's very difficult to accomplish. It can happen. I think that part of the synchronicity, because there's no such thing as coincidences, I think that it's this accomplishment is in more than some, like, it's into some people than it's not into some others. Some will never be able to do it. All are called and few are chosen. So not everybody will have this. Not many people can let go of the world. They're trying to be aligned with something that is of the world. And in that process, you lose the voice of God. You're no longer on that path. You're listening to man. Somebody had to introduce me into a teacher of some sort, an advisor, and I've never came through this process. I've never went to a man for guidance, for help, for answers. From the beginning of this journey, I've always went to God. And somebody tried to, and not that I'm against that. God's got a message, and he'll use whoever he can to give you that message. I'm not led. God's not leading me to find a man. If he had, I would already have. Through this journey, I would have turned to a man already, but I haven't. So I had to let this person know, and I wasn't trying to be upset, defensive, angry. I believe this person did take me the wrong way, but I had to let her know. I let them know that men are liars, in a sense that somebody is speaking from somebody else. Most people aren't telling us what somebody else told them, or they're going by what somebody said to them. This is how we are. We rely on man sometimes to help us. Nothing wrong with that. But that man that's you're turning to has turned to another man. It's like the somebody standing, like 12 people, let's say 15 people, 30 people, whatever, standing in a straight line, and somebody whispers something in somebody's ear, and that person will whisper something in that person's ear, right? It goes on and on and on and on, and eventually, when it gets to the end, it's something completely opposite from the very beginning. And this is where most people are at. They're just going by what somebody else told them. So we have to assume that everybody is a liar. Because how do we know that that person that we're listening to is right? How do we know that that person that before that person was telling them what was right? Do you understand what I'm saying? I didn't mean to say that we're liars, but in a sense we are, really, truly. If you're in a religion and you listen to a man preach, you look for him for guidance, and then he's telling you what to do, right? And you lose focus of God. You lose track. You lose the voice of God. Now you put your faith and trust in a man. I had to let this person know that I recognize God's voice. If I have questions, I ask him the questions, and he gives me the answers. Truly, he gives me the answers. It's It's very hard to explain. But if I'm asking God a question and I don't know, a few minutes I get the answer, later on in the day, I just saw 10:10. Maybe a couple of days from now, God's putting a thought in your head. Or let's say you've got a thought in your head that you're wanting to ask God. And let's say he speaks it to you. It's there already. 2 days down the road that you need this moment, it's there because it's already inside. God's already programmed it in you. He's already spoke it to you. It's there. Me speaking the way that I'm speaking, it's there. I'm not having to think about it. I'm not thinking. I'm absorbing. If that makes sense. I know what I'm saying makes sense. If people listen to what I'm saying makes sense. It's not like that I'm talking gibberish or nonsense. It makes sense. Where does it come from? This is what I'm saying. It's a free-flowing frequency. It's free-flowing from the root to the crown. Everything's opened. It's an unclogged drain out into the atmosphere. And here's where the voice, this is where all the knowledge and the answers are at. Now, I operate my life by the way God speaks, the way what he tells me to say or to do or where to go. I rely on God. I allowed God to have it. This is you truly believing in God. You truly fully giving it to God. No worries, no fears, no doubts. You know, everything's in God's hand. He's going to be in control of the situation. He's in control. It's amazing. It's beautiful. And it's incredible to become one. It's like you become one with everything now. You're hearing voices. You're hearing God's voice. You're hearing God's voice. And I won't say voices, but you are technically hearing voices. Like I said before, you just have to discern what it is you're listening to. If it's feeding you good things, peace and love, kindness and joy, patience, long-suffering, and self-control, this is God's voice. These are our fruits that we're bearing. Our branches are bearing good fruits. If it's speaking to you and complaining and hate, and sadness, depression and anger and fear, that's not God's voice. You have to discern who's God's voice and who's not God's voice. I love you guys. It's pretty amazing where things are at. God is my Father, and I want to be like my Father. I look up to him. I know I've said this before, but I don't think people grasp the concept. My son looks up to me. If he wants things, he knows I'll get it for him. Because he asked me, and I love him. I'm his father. Well, God's my Father. I truly believe that. He's my dad. And I ask him for things, and he gets them for me, and I believe that he'll do it. And I have to be a good son, and I have to represent him very well, and I need to be like him. I don't want to disappoint him or upset him. You know what I'm saying? I don't get rewarded for that. I don't get my blessings. I don't get my gifts. If I'm obedient and I do what he tells me to do, he gives me gifts. He blesses me. Here you go, son. Have this job. For being such a good son and a good obedient son, have this job. Have this wife. Have this home. Have this car. You're not asking for it. God supplies it. He knows your wants and needs. I hope I made sense. I think I kind of was all over the place. But I love you guys. Godspeed.